I love your little dance.
That's all I've got.
Do you believe in coincidence?
That's an interesting question.
Let me just tell you, there are no coincidences. Camilo was just telling us about, it was a crazy coincidence. All my friends are getting puppies and animals right now. And it just so happens that this friend happened to get a dog at this place. And then this friend, who is not related to this friend, got a dog at the exact same place. There's no coincidences.
It's all that energy getting put out in the atmosphere, pushing people in the same direction.
It's the universe talking to you. And then Camilo tells us that he wants to get his girlfriend wants to get one of those cats without the hair.
A Brazilian.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Oh, wait, no, I think that's a different cat.
I know where you're going with that. And to be honest with you, I kind of think that's what those animals look like. But the male side, I feel like they look like testicles.
Yeah.
Testicles on four legs.
With a face and claws.
I don't know why. I always think those cats with no hair, they look a little weird.
Now, I don't know that I've seen one in person. I've just seen the pictures, and I'm wondering if they actually do have just a really fine fur or fine hair.
Yeah, you kind of just want to touch them, right?
I really don't.
Would you feel naughty touching a furless cat?
No.
A cat with no hair?
No.
It kind of got you hot and bothered,
I just
didn't
hope
it?
that I wouldn't enjoy it too much and have to get one because I'm very allergic to
I
cats.
knew you were going there. Okay, so I'm going to bring back the conversation to coincidences. And it kind of goes back to the name of our podcast. Just so you know, we used to start this show by saying, I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And welcome to the Jana and Jason podcast. But on Friday, we are changing it up because we had this harebrained idea. I was writing a speech, and this all stemmed from, we went on a little road trip last week, and long story short, I was in the car and I got a little bored in the car. It was a 20-hour road trip, and so I started putting together a puzzle. Now, I know. Who does a puzzle in a car?
I mean,
well,
it's just
Jana does.
1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle.
It was a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to start sorting the pieces. That's what I'm going to do. Well, I started sorting the pieces, and then miraculously, I started seeing pieces that started going together. So I started putting it together inside the box, and then I got a little tired, and we put the box on the dashboard.
We put the box on the dashboard.
I did. I put the box on the dashboard. Jason slams on the brakes because he was trying to keep us safe. I guess that's what you do when you drive, right?
Yep.
And the box of puzzle pieces went
everywhere,
all down the little nooks and crannies of the car seats. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we don't have one of those little those space savers between the
that you see on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
we don't have that. In fact, when you start putting your hand down our car seat cracks, you start finding old. Actually, I don't know if they're potato chips.
There's some French fries. There's some fingernails.
Fritos. I don't know if they're fingernails or Fritos. They smell the same. I will say that.
On my side, it's definitely fingernails.
I knew you were cutting your fingernails over there. I knew it. I could hear him. I could hear this little snap when I was taking a nap on the road trip. And I'm like, are you cutting your fingernails? And he's like, no, honey, no. You don't groom while you're driving. That's one thing you don't do, Jason.
Well,
at any rate, when we got to our destination, which was visiting my family, I tried to pick up all the pieces. I put them all back in the box, right? So when we got to our destination, you know how family gatherings are. Sometimes you run out of things to talk about in the first 30 minutes. So I said, hey guys, I brought a puzzle for all of us to do. So I bring this puzzle in. I didn't tell them that I had started to do the puzzle in the car, and then I dropped all the pieces. And as we started putting the puzzle together, we started with the frame. And of course, we were missing so many pieces. And everybody looked at me like, we've gone through this box. I don't know how many times. We've picked out all the straight edges. Obviously,
There's
we're
not enough
missing
pieces here.
pieces. What's going on, Jana? And so then I told them the story.
I'm sorry.
They might be in the car. They might be in Tennessee. I don't know. You know, I spilled all the pieces. Then we got out, and who knows? I tried to find all of them.
We'll make them if we can't find them.
That's what I said. I go, let's just go with it. You know, if we can't find them, I'll make them out of cardboard, right? How hard is it to make them
the cardboard
a
pieces
missing
that
puzzle
we can
piece?
make? Yeah, you just cut the top up. You repaint it. You're golden.
Okay,
You've done it before.
I know the story is getting very, very long, but here's the thing. My dad said, no, we're not going to work another minute on this puzzle until we go out to the car and look for the puzzle pieces. So my dad and I went out and we started searching the car in the freezing cold. And lo and behold, we found seven
Well, there's a lucky
puzzle
number.
pieces.
Perfect.
All under, we found receipts and we found coins and we found all sorts of things under Jason's car. And you don't know how many times I tell Jason, clean your car, please. Please clean your car.
I'm just a slob.
I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, my dad, who is very meticulous and neat and clean, and his car, as soon as he gets home, he's vacuuming that car and he doesn't even have a spot of sand in his car. But Jason and I, we live on a lake. So our car, sometimes we have dirt and sand and skis and wheelchairs and dogs and all sorts of, he is in sales.
Fingernails.
So his car becomes his office. And it's just a lived in area. Let's just put it that way. So already I'm feeling like, no judgment, Dad. Please, no judgment. Although I felt a little judgment. I'm just going to be real. And then we found 7 pieces. So we go back in and we're putting them in the puzzle and we realize we're still missing
At least one piece.
And I said, come on, family. It's just one piece. Let's keep going with this puzzle. We can do it. And everyone else was like, we're missing a piece, Jana. Why would we put hours and hours of our time doing this puzzle when we're missing a piece? I couldn't sleep at all that night. And I felt like I had let everybody down. I don't know why. It seems so stupid. I know, but I did. I felt like I let my family down. I felt like it was such a dumb, foolish thing. And I felt responsible. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought, you know what? I'm going to find that puzzle piece.
It's got to be here.
I just feel it. I know that I'm going to find it. And I started looking inside the boots that I was wearing when I spilled the puzzle pieces.
Was it there?
It wasn't in there. I started looking in the clothing. I started looking in the suitcases. I started looking in my purse. I started dumping out my purse. When I dumped out my purse, I found this card that my mom had given me. It was just a sequence of events. I opened the card and there was this big butterfly. It just so happened that Jason and I had this really intense conversation about how I didn't think I was a butterfly. And Jason said, oh, you are a butterfly. That's a whole nother tangent. But my point is, everything seemed so coincidental that night. It felt so...
It was a path.
In the moment. I didn't find the puzzle piece that night. We got up early in the morning. My face was swollen because I hadn't slept. I had been crying all night. We did our Fun Day live Facebook show morning show. We get in the car to go over to my sister's house to continue doing the puzzle. And sure enough, I look in the cup holder of the car. And lo and behold,
Puzzle piece.
There's the puzzle piece.
And it, in fact, was the last piece of the puzzle.
It was the missing piece. And I'm telling you, I know that this seems so insignificant, maybe to all of you that are listening, but for me in that moment, it felt like I couldn't fail. It felt like I just knew that I was going to succeed. I knew that I was going to find it. I knew that everything I was going to do was going to be a success. I know that sounds crazy, but when I went in to my sister's house with that puzzle piece, I said, I'm living lucky. I'm living lucky.
And you know what is fascinating to me about that? And it's just that one of the things that was missing from our routine on that leg of the trip was our green smoothie.
Oh, yes. And that I think maybe I forgot that small detail is that we hopped in the car to go get our green smoothie. I told Jason, I need vegetables this morning because I didn't get much sleep. And I feel like the one thing that I can do this morning for myself that is self-care is to have ground up vegetables.
That's part of our morning routine.
We got in the
smoothie.
car and we drove to get green smoothies. And when he brought them out, that's when I put it in the cup holder and I looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm living lucky. Hence, that is the name of our podcast. Now, I have thought so much about living lucky, and I feel like it's a movement. To me, we haven't talked about this with each other. We just decided on Friday, let's name our podcast Living Lucky. Now, we are on episode 69,
Hello.
I think, of our podcast. Now, that's not a coincidence either.
That's a lucky number for us.
Our house number is 69.
Yep.
And in fact, our internet is called 69 Problems,
Yep.
which is a funny story in itself. I won't even go there.
Thanks, Julie.
But what does it mean to you, Jason, to live lucky?
You know, I've always felt blessed. And when I look at life with optimism and enthusiasm, I find more opportunities and more doors open for me. And the harder the more effort I put into living well, the luckier I seem to get. Which I
So
feel
is
like
it the energy that you're bringing?
I feel like it is a lot of the energy that I'm bringing.
Are you moving to a different frequency?
So there's a lot to be said about frequency. I think it was Benjamin Franklin, and sometimes I misquote. You know this about me, but it said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I don't necessarily believe that it's the harder I work, but the greater my intention and the more intentional I am about my efforts and movements, the luckier I get. And that's about opportunities and being open to those opportunities.
So part of living lucky, I think, is believing that things are going to work out. Believing, it's almost a mindset. You know, you start believing in yourself. You start believing in the people around you. You start believing in the universe. You start believing in a higher power. You start believing, you know what? There's a no-fail policy here. And sometimes I know what people are thinking. Oh, but Jana, come on. Sometimes things just happen and you can't control it. That is true. But I know from personal experience, because I'm a paraplegic, I was in a car accident at age 15, that sometimes those things that you think are the worst things that could possibly happen to you, in hindsight, those are the things that actually become the magic. That becomes your secret sauce.
Yeah. It's about shortening that distance in that journey between the things that you think happen to you and how they happen actually for you, and finding the gratitude in there.
Exactly. So if you can not only be grateful for the things you have, but be grateful for the worst things that have ever happened to you, then you start living almost, I don't want to say fearless, but you start facing your fears, because you start thinking, you know what? No matter what happens, it's going to turn out working in my favor.
Absolutely.
And so we asked the question this morning on our morning show. It was, what would you do with your life if you knew you couldn't fail? And so that's the other part of living lucky, is I think once you start this mindset of believing that things are going to work out for you, then you start taking a few more risks and you start facing your fears. And then that in itself, not only are you making things happen, you're creating opportunities, you're getting out of your own way, you're dissolving those limiting beliefs, and you're making this energy flow.
Yep. And you're decreasing your comfort zone, or is it increasing your comfort zone? But you're making your comfort zone so that
you're living just on the edge of it.
And the further you get, further you expand that comfort zone so that you're more comfortable living in those areas of uncomfort, the greater the opportunities become. And the more, someone said, no risk it, no biscuit last night in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's so good. Was that in one of the commercials that I fell asleep
I think
during?
It was in the color commentary. So no risk it, no biscuit, but or the greater the risk it, the greater the biscuit. So the more you are willing to risk, the more you're willing to lose, and the more you're willing to gain. So it's a two-way street there, but your comfort zone has to be challenged a little bit there.
Oh, that's so good. Even though when you say it, I almost feel like I should pant like a dog. Like, no, the bigger the risk it, the bigger.
Sit.
Right? Good dog. Good Jana. I did it. Yeah. So, getting out of your own way, believing that it's going to happen for you, taking risk. I also think you put yourself in a higher energy, a higher frequency. And then when you do that, then people are attracted to that. So then you start helping those around you, and you just start creating this infinity loop. It really is a movement. Living lucky. I think we're onto something, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm not sure how we're going to officially introduce, hey, living lucky. In fact, when we were watching the Super Bowl, I started coming up with this little rap. Remember the song that came on? And
yes.
Living lucky is who we are. It was very
Jana's
elementary. I am not a great rapper, but Camilo
is a fast rapper.
Camilo, who works with us. In fact, he's right here in the studio with us, our producer. He is the best fast rapper I've ever met.
Best fast rapper I've ever met also.
And so I was thinking maybe we might change up the beginning intro music and maybe the end outro music, and maybe put a living lucky is who we are.
Well, I'm all about looking at different options. One thing I would like to do is for everyone that's in our VIP group on Jana and Jason Live,
Yes.
is get them a shirt, a Living Lucky shirt. Because St. Patty's Day is coming up.
Yes.
So
I
think
love
would be
that.
fun.
Maybe we could put like a big 4-leaf clover.
Or 4-leaf clover, 4-leaf banana, whatever we want to do. But I want to get
a banana peel.
Yeah,
Almost like you're about to slip on the banana peel, but because you're living lucky,
no slipping.
you miss it. There's
slip.
no slipping.
So I really think that giving them a nice T-shirt that they can wear out and have that green, so they don't have to think, what do I wear for St. Patty's Day? Not that everyone's going out for St. Patty's Day. We got to figure out what's going on with this COVID thing.
Do you know that on St. Patty's Day, Jason dresses up like a leprechaun? You don't want to miss that. We can do that in our Jana and Jason live group too. Tell everybody how to find it. You first visit the
Real Jana Shelfer on Facebook.
Real Jana Shelfer on Facebook. And then there's a private group inside that Facebook group, and it's called Jana and Jason Live.
Yep.
That's a lot to remember.
We can probably put a link directly to it on the website, janashelfer.com.
janashelfer.com. That is so much easier. And hopefully we'll even make it easier yet as we get this machine going. Living Lucky. I think it's a movement. Hop on board. Have a good day, guys. Living Lucky is who we are.
Follow us, we'll take you far.
I love it.